Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Bunting, and I am from The Right Practice. I'm here with Matt Herron. Hi, Matt.
Hi, everyone.
So we're so glad you're here. This is our second edition of this live training, How to Revolutionize Your Writing Process with Scrivener. It's the first time I've actually ever given a webinar at night in the evening. I'm on the East Coast, and it's nighttime for us. I don't know where you guys are tuning in from, but I'm really excited that you guys are here with us tonight. We have a lot of really great stuff to cover. When I wrote my first book, it took me 500 hours. I was stumbling around trying to figure out a writing process that worked for me. And then my next book took me less than 300 hours. And a huge factor in that taking less time was my discovery of a writing program called Scrivener. So we're here tonight because we want to save you hundreds of hours of time during the writing process. We want to help you write more books, write better books, and have more fun doing it. And that's why about a year ago, I started working with Matt Herron to publish a book called Scrivener Superpowers. We published it about 3 weeks ago. It's already hit #1 in a lot of categories on Amazon. And we're really excited about sharing this book with you. We'll tell you more about the book a little bit later. But so Matt is the author of the sci-fi thriller, The Auriga Project, which was published in 2015. And he is the author of Scrivener Superpowers. And he's going to be teaching us tonight a lot of great information about how we can transform our writing process with Scrivener. So take it away, Matt.
All right, thanks, Joe. So we're just going to start with a brief introduction of who I am. So as Joe said, my name's Matt. I'm the fiction author of The Auriga Project, a sci-fi thriller novel. I also organize a group in Austin called Indie Publishing Austin. It's a bi-monthly meetup of writers and publishers. I'm also a technology enthusiast and storycraft nerd, and those two passions really came together in my most recent publication, Scrivener Superpowers. So we'll tell you a little bit more about this book in just a minute. I just want you to know that I wrote this book in Scrivener. So this is the tool that we're going to be going over tonight, and it's an incredibly powerful writing software. And I wrote the book Teaching Scrivener in Scrivener. So let's back up now and go over a little bit of background. So a couple years ago, I reached a low point in my writing practice, the likes of which I had never seen before. Now, I had written stories before, but I just reached a point where I just couldn't finish anything I started, and I despaired. I searched and searched for different writing tools and craft books and processes that I could use to get to the end of a new story, and I was having a really tough time about it. So I heard about Scrivener through some of the books and blogs I was reading. I heard about it from other authors. I heard about it on podcasts. And I got what social scientists call the frequency illusion. Once I started hearing about Scrivener, I couldn't unhear it. Everywhere I turned, people were talking about how amazing this writing tool was. And so eventually I reached rock bottom, and I thought, I've just got to give this a try. I have no choice but to give Scrivener a shot. And an amazing thing happened. When I opened Scrivener, a light bulb went on for me. Suddenly, I started finishing stories. Scrivener helped me stay organized. I could see my story at a glance and tell what was missing. It also helped me be more productive. I could set daily word counts and achievable short-term goals. And it helped me reach the finish line. You know, instead of being blocked, I could actually finish the stories I started. I could compile the stories and send them off for feedback and revise them in Scrivener and repeat that process. So I went from finishing nothing to finishing and publishing 2 short stories. And then I also published. So let me pause there. These are the 2 short stories that I wrote in Scrivener, the first 2 I ever wrote. Now, there's a lot of stuff on the screen there, but what I want to point out is the 2 outlines there that's the actual story. The rest of the stuff that we'll go over in a minute is the front matter, the cover, the back matter, all of my research. All of it is contained right in Scrivener. But what matters here is the outline section. You can see that the first story, the one on the left, is only 3 scenes long. And the second story, the one on the right, is only 4 scenes. So after I published a couple short stories, I had those under my belt, I undertook the big project of writing and publishing my first novel. And again, I did this in Scrivener. These are screenshots of the actual novel research. So the top right is the character sketches that I created in Scrivener. The bottom right is the setting sketches. And on the left-hand side, we have the sketches themselves. So I always start with the name, the synopsis, and Scrivener lets me keep all this stuff organized. It lets me use visuals. And I really like this approach, this research approach that Scrivener enables. Instead of keeping things in a whole bunch of different documents and folders throughout my computer, instead of being disorganized, I can keep it all in one place. So I have a single Scrivener project for this novel. And this is the novel that I eventually published. So this is what the cover looks like. But what I really want to show you is what the inside looks like. So you can look at a book's cover and know that it contains a bunch of chapters. But the real power of Scrivener is looking inside the binder and seeing all of the chapters laid out for you. And so on the left here, we have the binder structure of the novel. And on the right, we have the storyboarding process. So I went through Scrivener and I outlined the whole book. And then in Scrivener, I printed it out and I put it up on the corkboard to give me a nice visual of it. Scrivener allows you to do all of this stuff and much, much more. So eventually, in the indie publishing group that I mentioned earlier, I started talking to authors about how I was so passionate about this writing software. I never thought I would be, but here I was talking about it and telling people about it. And what I noticed was that the other authors I talked to had big blockers when it came to Scrivener. They were intimidated by the software. They were confused. A lot of them said that they tried it but gave up. So to help these people, I started writing blog posts on the right practice. I got a lot of really good feedback from that, things that people were having trouble with, and things that my articles really helped them with. And then I shared these with the other authors that I was meeting a couple times a month. And then I took it a step further. I did some one-on-one coaching with a couple authors and helped them take their books into Scrivener and get set up.
Hey, Matt, I think something went wrong with the tech side. People aren't getting it. So I think we need to restart.
Okay.
I'm going to stop the broadcast and we'll try again.
So they didn't get any of the presentation. Awesome.
Second try is going to be so much better.